Hey folks, Sam here with Sam Wood Outdoors. Time for a pellet gun review. And for this one, I broke out the Mac Daddy. That's right. This thing is the Benjamin Trail Nitro Piston XL in 25 caliber. That's it. 25 caliber in a break barrel. This thing is the king of break barrel guns. A little bit about it. You guys want the specs. You always ask me how many feet per second a gun's shooting. I'm going to tell you what they tell me. I'm going to give you the truth. Crossman says 900 feet per second out of this gun. In reality, probably somewhere in the 600 to 700, probably 650 to 750 range. And what does that equate to? That equates to, with the right pellets, 23, 24, 25 foot-pounds of energy. And, you know, that'll definitely take out a coyote at 50, 75 yards for sure. So, a little bit more about the gun. Comes with a 3x9 by 40 power scope. Has a built-in or welded-in Weaver rail to mount your scope, so that's going to be rock solid. Comes in at about 10 pounds all put together. So it is a heavy gun. This is not a gun that you probably want to go walking miles and miles and miles with. But definitely for the average guy sitting in the backyard shooting squirrels and stuff like that, it's friggin' amazing. Then you can move on up and shoot coons and coyotes and fox and stuff like that. So definitely a good gun there. It's not really a kid's gun. You know, you're not going to give this to like your 10-year-old because he's going to get wore out, because this break barrel takes a little bit more to cock. You are pushing, you know, a 26 to 31 grain pellet down the barrel at 25 caliber. So the nitro piston is just a little bit beefier and a little bit more to get cocked. Comes with a sling stud and a sling holder right here in the front, so that's good to go. Checkered stock. It's a nice looking gun. But all together, you know, let's start shooting this thing. I got a Sharpshooter's Pack. I went ahead and I bought these Sharpshooter Packs. A lot of my guns, I already know what they shoot because I've already done this. But I didn't have one for this gun. It's been a while since I shot this. So here it is, Sharpshooter's Pack. And what this is basically an assortment of pellets. All different kinds, sizes, weights, and everything right there. And there's the names of each one. And what that does, that allows you to shoot your gun with different size pellets and see which one actually shoots the best. This is the problem most guys have. They call me up and they say, listen, I just bought this pellet gun. I don't care if it's a Gamma, Benjamin, RSB, any of them, and I can't get it to shoot. My scope is junk or my gun is junk. You know, I usually go over the do's and the don'ts. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch my do's and don'ts video of shooting these pellet guns. That'll explain a lot to you. And the other thing is, you're probably not shooting the right pellets for that gun. And just because you own one of these, shoots one kind of pellet, you might own another one that shoots a different kind of pellet. So you definitely want to get a Sharpshooter's Pack. You want to start out at 25 yards, shoot your groups, take your best couple, go back to 50, see what this gun can do, and then pick your pellet. So that being said, we get the targets set up here, and we're going to start shooting, and we're going to see what this thing can do. All right, folks, got the targets all set up. I got 6 of them on there. They're these 3-inch circle shoot and see targets. We're going to shoot 6, 6, and 5. Reason being is I got in my Sharpshooter Pack 6 rows, 6 pellets in the top, 6 and 6. We got all the things on here, so that's what we're going to shoot. Let's get started. When I edit this together, you're probably not going to have to put up with me shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. We're going to edit it all, and I got the targets numbered and named, so you'll be able to see what pellet performs the best. So we're just probably going to get in a few shots here, and then we'll shut her off, and I'll shoot it all, and we'll come back and review everything. I would use the scope cam, but shooting indoors here kind of sucks. The quality's kind of grainy because I don't have the greatest lighting in here. And it is what it is. We got to work with what we got. So let's get started. Remember, this is a break barrel. And like I said about being an adult gun, you really got to work at cocking it. It's got some pretty good pressure to it. All right, so the first one we're going to shoot is the Vortex Supreme 19.91 grains. And we're going to go ahead and shoot 5 at each target. And then we're going to take our best groups, and that's what tells you what pellets you need to be shooting out of your gun. When you go to shoot these guns, you basically want to get it on target So without touching the gun. Like I said before, the recoil is actually starts before the pellet leaves the barrel. So if you're holding it tight or you got to flex the gun to get it on target, you're not going to be that accurate. You want to be basically just set up and ready to go. All right, we'll keep shooting here and we'll be back. All right, we're on to the second target, which is, or the second pellets, which is H&N FTT Trophy 20.06 grains. And listen, guys, when you're shooting this, I don't care where you're hitting on the target, as long as you're aiming in the center. If you're aiming in the center of that target, every time, we're judging groups here. We're not judging hitting that target. We just want to spot the aim every single time, and then we'll judge the groups when we're done. All right, we're on to our third pellet group, which is the H&N Silver Point 24.38 grains. And here we go. All right, on to our fourth group of pellets here, which is going to be the Benjamin Silver Arrow 24.38 grains. Just keep going here. This is a long process, but if you really want to get accuracy out of your pellet guns, this is what you got to do. On to our next group of pellets. These are the H&N Spitzkugel. I think, hopefully I pronounced it. They come in at 24.85 grains. All right, last one in our group of first set of 6. These are the JSB's Exact 25.4 grains. You guys do this, you know, this gun right here, definitely capable of being a 75 to 100 yard gun. Without a doubt. All right. One more shot. We'll go down there and get the target. All right, I'm going to go down there and replace the target with the next set of 6, and then we'll come back and keep on shooting. All right, we're ready to get started with the second group. The first pellet in there is JSB Predator 26 grain. These are pretty cool pellets. They're kind of got a polymer insert in them. So if they shoot good, they're quite the pellet. So here we go. One is the Beeman Silver Bear, 26.2 grains. Number 7. I mean number 8. I'm sorry, number 8. All right, on to the next one, number 9. These are the H&N Cro-Magnum 26.23 grains. All right, on to the next one, which is the H&N Hollow Point 26.23 grains. Number 10. Which is the H&N Barracuda HTR. It's 27.47 grains. All right, on to the next one. These are the Benjamin Domed 27.5 grain. These are the pellets that I shoot out of my Marauder, and my Marauder loves them. But that's not to say this gun's gonna. This will be the last one on this string. We'll go down, we'll get the target, we'll set it up. We got 5 more to shoot, pellet types, and then we'll finish up our review. All right, I'm gonna go down there and get that target and get her set up. Got 5 more to go through. This one is the H&N Bar HTR Extreme. This comes in at 28.4 grains. We're really getting up there in grains, but you wait till you see what we got coming up. Target number 13. All right, here we go. Target number 14 is the H&N Barracudas, 31.02 grains. That is a chunk of lead going down range, I'll tell you that. All right, the next one is the Beeman Kodiak Match. It's another one that weighs in at 31.02 grains. You probably don't want to do this on a day when it's 100 degrees outside because it's quite a workout. All right, next one. Are you ready for this? This is the JSB Exact King Heavy. Comes in at 33.95 grains, almost 34 grains of lead coming out of a pellet gun. That's insane. All right, we're on to our last one right here. And this is the JSB Exact King Mark II. And it's another one that's coming in at 33.95 grains. So we're almost done with the fun part. All right, last shot. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna go down there, I'm gonna pick up that target, change things around here so we can review what we got, go over everything, and then do the final closeout on this pellet gun right here. All right, we just got done shooting all them targets, and I thought maybe you guys need a little bit of something to understand foot-pounds energy and what we're talking about here. So what I did was I stuck a sheet of 1/2-inch plywood up down there, and behind it I put a sheet of a small piece of 3/4 inch in case we go through the 1/2 inch. But we're just going to go and shoot and see what it can do into that plywood. You can hear it hit. It hits pretty hard. For my regular target, I just got that box, and it's jam-packed full of stacked newspapers, and it works really, really well. All right, I'm gonna go down there, I'm gonna grab that, we'll set up these targets up here, and we'll discuss how this gun shoots, and then we'll close this video out, give you my opinion, and we're out of here. So give me a minute, and we'll be back. All right, guys, went down there, we got all the targets here. We're gonna go over this here real quick. First of all, the ones that I shoot, the pellets that I shoot, are the H&N Chrome Magnums. And that's probably an 1 3/4 inch group, somewhere in there. But I'll tell you something I'm really impressed with, because I can never get a hollow point to shoot right out of any of my pellet guns. I never can. But this thing, look at this. That's probably shot itself a 1 inch group. Here is my Benjamin domed, that I shoot out of my Marauder. When I'm out just screwing off, I have shot these out of this gun, and that's about the accuracy I get. But let's look at a couple of these other ones. Here you got the H&N Silver. This Vortex Supreme, that was not so good. Look at this. The Beeman Silver, here. Now tell me, you know, here's another one, the JSB Exact, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know where the 5th one hit. So that would show you, you know, if you don't have the right pellet and you're shooting these guns, man, you'll be pulling your hair out unless you get lucky enough to get the right pellet off the bat, which usually doesn't happen. So that's just a reason why we get these sharpshooter packs and we do what we do. I'm going to go out now. I'm going to take and go out to 50 yards. I definitely want to see what these H&N hollow points can do, because that's a really nice group there. I'm also going to take the Chrome Magnums out again and shoot them. And then there was one other one that kind of impressed me, and I want to see how it shoots. And that was none of these. Look at this H&N Barracuda. Here. You know, here we got a good group here, and then this one might have been a flyer. I might test shoot these JSB Exact Kings again, because this was, like I said, that's pretty good, but this is just way off. Trying to see there, so that's that. So that, again, guys, that's why it's so important to shoot different kinds of pellets out of these guns. And just because that gun shoots one kind of pellet, you could buy another one exactly the same gun, and it'll shoot something different. But now, on to the plywood test. Here's our plywood. That's our 1/2 inch sheet of plywood. Look at that. Blew it right out the back. Not even an issue. And then here's the 3/4 inch plywood that was behind it. And if you look, right there's the pellets. They're embedded pretty much level. So that just shows you the kind of power that this gun is getting. Even at that lower feet per second. I know a lot of guys will freak out when you tell them, you know, 650 to 700 feet per second, somewhere in there. They're like, oh, that's shooting way too slow, and they freak out. Listen, guys, if I can get you away from that feet per second thing with these pellet guns, I've succeeded. You know, you guys, it's just not about that. So, overall, I really love the gun. I love shooting the gun. I need to shoot it a lot more to become more comfortable with it. But it shoots pretty good, and it shoots really, really hard. I'm really looking forward to hunting with it next year. I got this gun last fall. Didn't get to put a whole lot of time into it this winter, and now it's getting to be spring, so I just got it out. On a scale of 1 to 10, I put this at like a 7.5 or an 8, just because the weight comes in at 10 pounds, so it's not for everybody. Little bit more to cock it. And the other thing is, for most guys, you got to understand, you can't just go down to Walmart and buy 25 caliber pellets. You're going to have to shop them online, and they're a little bit more expensive, but they're definitely worth it. So the gun, definitely, if you're looking for the Mac Daddy of all the pellet gun break barrels, this is what you get. After this, then you're going to start looking at going into the PCP guns. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, put them down here. I'll get to them. If this video is quite old, sometimes I don't get all the messages. You might want to go on to one of my newer videos and say, hey, I got a question about a pellet gun. But thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the support.